Hey guys, and happy Halloween. Time to review another old classic cartoon from the past. This time it's The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It's not really a scary cartoon, but it does have a lot of dark elements to it. So let's talk about it. Cartoon Network premiered one of its darkest, raunchiest series of all time, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. An animated show about two children enslaved and befriended by the Grim Reaper. Originally conceived as half of the show of Grim and Evil, it told the tale of two best friends, the dim-witted yet enthusiastic Billy and clinical disturbing intelligent Mandy. Grim and Evil's intentional existence was largely due to the viewer poll. It originated as part of Cartoon Network's Cartoon Cartoons, for which the network would air a series of shorts and asses of their potential to become a full-off spin-off series. The first spin-off was Dexter's Laboratory in 1996, after having aired its first short in February a year earlier, followed by Johnny Bravo and Cow and Chicken. In 2000, Cartoon Network did things differently with a 53-hour marathon event called The Big Pick, in which viewers got to vote for which of the 10 pilots would become a half show for the fall season. The first show to win the Big Pick was Grim and Evil with 57% of the votes. The evil half of Grim and Evil was Evil Con Carne, the tale of a billion-dollar playboy evil genius whose body blew up, but whose brain and stomach were salvaged and placed in a Russian purple bear. The character was later salvaged in his entity and would pop up as a villain from time to time in Billy and Mandy. Creator Maxwell Adams recalls the unlikely best friends were secondary characters in another potential show. And so it was the two little kids that tricked the Grim Reaper into betting his life in a game of limbo to try and save Billy's hamster's internal soul. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy would run for 86 episodes, including the original Grim and Evil shorts, as well as 3 movies and 2 special episodes. It also won 2 Emmy Awards. Adams was always interested in cartoons, from the time you actually had to wake up on a Saturday morning or you would miss your favorite shows. The dark humor and the raunchiest of Billy and Mandy was something he was always interested in, even if that was uncommon in children's cartoons at the time. The only cartoon that matched Billy and Mandy in terms of edginess and dark comedy was Invader Zim, and that show was way darker in terms of the humor. But one of the things that made Billy and Mandy unique for the era of dark comedy was how dark it could go at times, with constant references to horror and the occult, and many episodes focusing on the horror tropes while paying them for laughs. In spite of the show's tones, Adam recalls Cartoon Network never really opposing the weirdness, just other things. In addition is the raunchy, dark sense of humor. The show was filled with pop culture references, all twisted to fit the tone of Billy and Mandy's universe. I mean, where else could you see Yogi Bear and Boo Boo depicted as junkies with the bloodshot eyes? Even Blackula became a recurrent character. One of the joys of watching the show as an adult is picking up the references from the horror movies as mentioned above. From the most obscure things you would never think a Cartoon Network show would reference. Billy, Mandy, and Grim decide to look into the future for fun. They see a world ruled by Mandy as an immortal half-worm, half-human demon dictator who controls the world by hoarding cinnamon, and ultimately learns a rebellion through precognition. As a kid, it felt not easy to spot the many references of Frank Herman's God's Empire of Dune novel. And that's why Adam loves the episode. This show also shares common traits with the likes of Ed, Edd n Eddy, Johnny Bravo, Cat Dog, among others, but it seems to cross the bridge from kids' entertainment to adults' guilty pleasure. Duck Dodgers would probably be the only other tune I could say off the top of my head that would fit this category too. This may say more about my sick sense of humor than necessarily the show itself, but I've said this before. Dark comedy is my type of comedy, and it's still one of my favorite Cartoon Network offerings. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy gets a 9 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and happy Halloween. Peace.